Alright, friends, this is my personal reflection presentation. I worked very hard on this. I thought it would be kind of a cool thing to just do a video for my presentation, so I can just kick back. Here, let's take a gander at my face for just a second here. Hello, everyone. It is your friend, your pal, Andrew Gilliland. Today, I'm going to be talking about Spring Hill Jack, this fine-looking gentleman over here who's flaunting off the whatever he's doing to those gentlemen. He's scaring those men. He's bewildering them. Um, Spring Hill Jack is a piece of English folklore, and I got the definition here. But before we start, I'd like to say hello to my good friend Andrew Gilliland down here. How you doing, Andrew? Oh, you're looking rather stunning yourself. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Go ahead, kick your feet up. I'm gonna take care of the class today. You don't have to say another word. I got this, boy. All right. So, where was I? So, Springhild, English, any folklore is, as you can see here, the traditional beliefs, customs, and stories of a community passed through the generations by word of mouth. So, before we go into Spring Hill Jack, I would like to show you guys probably one of the most famous American folklore videos is... Oh, that's the wrong one. Farted up already. This whole presentation's ruined. The Patterson footage of Bigfoot. Now, Bigfoot's not originally American, I don't think. I think Sasquatch came much before America was even a thing, but... What's that thing? What's going on there? Oh no, he's looking at the camera. Oh, it's haunting. It is so haunting. Some of you guys may have seen this in the past. That is probably the best footage of Bigfoot caught on tape. A big gorilla man just walking through the woods, minding his own business. Some creep named Patterson's over in the bushes like, look at this hairy man walking. And now we have people collecting footprints and freaking out all over the coast of Oregon. So that's an example of like a folklore entity or a creature. For the sake of this, I'm going to call Spring Hill Jack a creature because we don't know what the hell he is. Other English folklore would be like the Black Dog, which was a ghost dog in England that was referred to as the Hound of Hell. When people saw him, they knew they were about to die. The Bogart. A Bogart is a type of poltergeist who steals your stuff. He lives in your house, or she lives in your house, and they jack all your stuff out of your house, like a ghost thief, or a Bogart. So those are examples of English folklore entities. But Springhild, as you can see over here, he is described as a... We don't need to look at my face. I love you all. From this point on, I will be a voice. He's a demon-like entity that is described to have claws, oil skin armor that's white, under a cloak. As you can see here, he has like bat wings. So that's like his cloak. And sometimes he's described to have the appearance of a gentleman. And he can breathe fire, and he can jump really high. A lot of accounts say he has armor on, he has helmets, so I don't know what the hell Springhild's supposed to be, but he's basically a crazy, maniacal demon thing that attacks people in London in the Victorian period. Oh yeah, Springhild is a folklore entity from the Victorian area, if I haven't said that. That's kind of why I chose him, because, you know, Victorian, yeah. Anyways, so it started in London in 1837. And it went all the way until 1904. There's sightings in London all the way to Liverpool. One of the very first sightings was a girl named Mary Stevens. She was heading home from work one night. She was a bar servant. And a creepy man grabbed her and ripped her shirt off and was clawing at her and kissing her face. And she fortunately screamed and got the attention of people, which caused him to flee. And the people were never able to find him. She said his claws were cold to the touch. They were metallic, you know, and he was a creep. He was a creepy man. So the very, very next day, there was a reported incident of a demon-like man jumping in front of a coach, and this caused the coach to crash and it severely hurt the driver of it. And when people went to grab him, he jumped over a 9-foot wall and was described to be laughing like a maniac as he jumped over the wall because he's just a jerk, basically. Spring Hill Jack is, from what I've gathered from my research, is just a big ass from the Victorian period. And he just likes to cause mayhem, he likes to rip girls' shirts off, and he's just kind of a jerk. So, Spring Hill Jack soon became a well-known name. Several servant girls were coming forth referring to him as a devil, that, you know, he was just attacking all these women like a psychopath. There are no reports of him killing anyone. He was... I was reading an essay where somebody was comparing him to Raiden, the Japanese god. Raiden was kind of a prankster, although Raiden would steal people's belly buttons and keep those for some reason. So I don't know. Maybe Raiden went up to London to chill for a couple years or a century. But in 1938, January 1938, the mayor of London, Sir John Cowan, started talking about him, and then the Times started writing about him. And two of the biggest cases that the Times talked about, and the thing that made Spring Hill Jack so popular in England, was the Alsop case and the Scales case. So, in February of 1838, Jane Aslop, I don't think I said that right. She went to the door of her dad's house. She thought a cop was asking her for assistance. He said he had somebody in the alleyway. He needed a candle. So when she opened the door to hand the candle to who she had presumed was a police officer, old Spring Hill Jack was just standing there, grotesque appearance, and he spit blue fire in her face, and she fainted. And later on, it was reported that she described his eyes as balls of fire, and she said that he was wearing metal, like tight oilskin, and had a metal helmet on, and he had metallic claws. Fortunately, her sisters came to help her because he was ripping her gown apart when they saw him, and he ran away. So 8 days later, a girl named Lucy Scales, her and her sister were they were visiting her brother, who worked at a butcher shop. And Spring Hill was just chilling on the corner, and when she approached him, they were walking by him. When she approached him, he spit blue fire in her face, and it caused her to have violent fits for hours. And her brother heard her screams, and her and her sister screaming, so he came and helped. And it's reported that in this instance, he just calmly walked away. So basically, he was just standing there. Lucy's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, demon guy?" And he just breathed fire in her face and then just walked away like whatever, you know, because he's a jerk. Spring Hill Jack. The best thing you can take from this presentation is if you see a man with fire eyes and metal all over him, he's going to probably spit fire at you and rip your clothes off. So stay away from him. So after these two cases were reported, Spring Hill started showing up in the Penny Dreadfuls, and he started showing up in all kinds of pop culture around England. There's plays about him. There's books. He even was in a Scooby-Doo comic book at one point. As you can see, there he is pouncing around. He has spring feet. So he's kind of, a lot of people don't know about him anymore, but he was very popular during the beginning of the 20th century. There's all kinds of stuff, and then it kind of died down. In 1877, this is the final case I'm talking about. There's multiple cases. There's all these books. You can look it up. There's all kinds of people were terrorized by this piece of crap. But the final one, in 1877, he was found in the north camp of Aldershot, which is a military base. And one of the sentry guards saw him coming and, reported, halt, told him to halt, did his little soldier guy thing. Hey, you need to stop. And Springhild ran up really quick to him and started slapping him in the face. And so the guy was trying to shoot him, and they didn't know if he was shooting blanks or if he was just missing or if he was doing warning shots. But basically, you cannot shoot Springhild Jack because Springhild Jack is an OG, and a good old G won't be taken down with bullets, if you know what I'm saying. So Springhild, he leapt away. He did his jumping thing. He jumped up. He just basically attacked a military base and slapped a bunch of soldiers, and then took off, which is actually probably my favorite account because I've guarded military bases before, and I couldn't imagine if a demon jumped at me and slapped my face and I couldn't shoot him. Like, I would be really mad about this situation. But one of my favorite folklore stories is Springhild Jack. Not because he's a good dude. As you can see, this is a good picture of him. He is a demon. He is a jerk. I watched a video where somebody he was like, Springhild Jack's the first superhero. I don't know if that's true. Unless the Times had like a Jameson and this is a Spider-Man situation where he was a good dude and Jameson's just like that menace, and maybe he was a superhero. I don't know. But from what I've read, he was an asshole and he wasn't a very nice guy. He was never caught. He could still be out there chilling somewhere, spitting fire at people, freaking people out for no good reason, causing car accidents. That menace. So finally, to wrap up my presentation, I'd like you guys this guy is probably a lot more intelligent than me. He could probably sum this up better than I could.
1800s London. Its citizens spoke of a threat in the fall of night. Out of the mists it came, and those who set foot onto the dark streets took the risk of an encounter with a bizarre phenomenon. A phenomenon that gripped the nation for more than 60 years was known as Spring-Heel Jack.
Ooh. Spooky intro. Guy has a way better intro to his presentation than I did.
The first recorded encounter of Spring-Heel Jack was in 1837, when a businessman, running late for work, decided to take a shortcut across Barnes Common, a notoriously dangerous place to be in the fall of night. But knowing the risks of the area, he continued on his journey, unaware of the horror that lurked in the shadows. The businessman approached a churchyard located on the common. A tall figure leapt from a great height into his path and confronted him with fierce, glowing red eyes. This appearance sparked a frenzy in Barnes. Residents feared for their safety, and news quickly spread to neighbouring villages. And for the next 70 years, more and more sightings were reported of this demon-like figure in and around London. This was the arrival of Spring-Heeled Jack. Some people believed Spring-Heeled Jack was from the supernatural realm, as many witness reports tell of his extraordinary capability to leap great heights and skip over rooftops with a single bound. Other sightings claimed he wore oilskin, covered with a metal corset bolted tightly to his body. Testimonies also revealed that his eyes were like balls of fire, coupled with the ability to belch blue and white flames, terrifying his victims into fits of fear, or in extreme cases would lead to their untimely deaths. Sir John Cowan, the Lord Mayor of London, examined the mysterious case, and while speaking in a public session here at Mansion House, he stated, "It is impossible that this ghost performs the feats of a devil upon earth," and firmly believed that the Spring-Heeled Jack character was just a vicious pantomime display, and freelance journalists heightened the public panic with ever more lurid reports of Spring-Heeled Jack's antics and supernatural powers, especially after a horrific, vicious attack on Jane Alsop, regarded as a credible witness by the courts.
It's a horrible name. Alsop.
The court suspected foul play rather than the supernatural. The mad Marquis of Waterford, a notorious prankster, was a prime suspect in the case and had been under public suspicion for some time, as this nobleman certainly had the means of obtaining elaborate costumes to cover his tracks. But in his defence, he had been accounted for the night of the incident. More and more of these brutal attacks took place in and around London up until 1907, including one of the most vicious recorded on an 18-year-old woman confronted by the demon here along remain as baffling to us today as they were during the 1880s. But he will never return to the streets of London.
Yeah, amen. Alright. I think this presentation has gone on long enough. Let's see my beautiful face one more time. Thank you guys so much. This has been my favorite class I've had in a long time. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate Ro. There's some of you that are a little too sassy for my opinion. Don't ask any questions. You're not invited. But everybody else can ask questions. I'm talking about you, Ryan. Ryan, don't ask any questions because I'm not putting up with it. This is my house. You're getting this presentation from my house right now. So, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you all. I'm seeing you guys right now, actually. While you're watching this video, I'm sitting here with my feet kicked up on the desk because that's how you do a presentation. So, God bless. Good night. Stay away from people wearing oilskin because they're gonna belch fire at you, and it's terrifying stuff. And I don't want that to happen to any of you guys. So, good day.